What is up, YouTube? I'm Taylor and I hate mosquitoes. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to teach you how to winterize your bike or prepare your bike for long-term storage. That's a particularly important thing when you live in a colder climate, especially like around winter time when it would get cold, temperatures get below freezing, that sort of thing. Just to make sure that your gas stays good, your battery stays charged, your tires hold air. So let's go ahead and get into it. So if you're like me, you don't always get to ride all of your bikes all the time. Work, life, whatever gets in the way, relationships, just, life happens. You can't always be on a bike. You can't always, as much as we try, get them into rotation. Some bikes don't get used quite as often when you've got multiples. So in the case of this Kawasaki, actually both of my Kawasaki's, they're old two-strokes. They're fun, but they just do not have um, enough kind of get up and go, just being smaller bikes for public roadways. So they don't get used a whole lot. However, they both still run, still want to take care of them, still do this maintenance. So this next step, or this first step, isn't something necessarily that everyone will want to do, and I'll explain more. But this gas has been in this tank since I couldn't tell you when. Probably before last winter, to be honest, just with fuel stable. Um, so what you want to do is get your fuel line off, and you're just going to go ahead and drain all the old fuel out because we don't know how good this is. Probably won't make it another year, so I want to go ahead and get rid of it. So we're going to go ahead and drain that now. All right, so the reason why we go ahead and do that is we want to have good fuel in the system come spring when we can go riding again. Or in the case of this one, whenever I want to take this one back out again, because occasionally I do, I will go ahead and be able to start it because of these following steps, including this one. Just in the case of this one's going to sit more so than, say, my Enfield or one of the BSAs. So I'm going to go ahead and reconnect that fuel line, and then we are good to mix our gas. In this case, it'd be mixing two-stroke gas. You'll completely fill the tank. That way you avoid any rusting. This is particularly important for bikes that are not in a heated garage. All right, so I would like to mention that the aforementioned filling the gas tank completely up to the fill cap, that's mainly important for bikes with steel gas tanks. Now, in the case of the BSAs, at least these two have aluminum gas tanks. They're not steel. So they won't rust, which is great, which is part of the reason why I love these old BSA Victors is the tanks don't rust, which is huge for longevity. Because anyone who's worked on vintage bikes before knows that that sucks to deal with, a rusted gas tank. It's doable, it's just not fun. It's kind of tedious. But same thing applies for plastic or fiberglass gas tanks. You do not have to completely fill it up all the way. However, I just tend to do it as a habit because I started out on bikes with steel gas tanks. So that brings us into the next bit. Once your gas tank is completely filled, you'll go ahead and grab some fuel stable. Highly recommend this stuff. I know other people use different products. I've had great luck with using fuel stable. This stuff, you just follow the instructions on the bottle. It keeps fuel fresh for up to 24 months, according to the bottle, and I can confirm that it does work. Like I said, the gas in that Kawasaki, That's probably a year and a half old, best guess. Um, so definitely pick up some of this stuff if you haven't heard of it. I'm sure most of you probably have. But you'll just follow the instructions on the bottle, add it to your fuel, and once that's topped off, you're ready for the next step. Okay, so I mentioned the battery thing at the beginning of this video. Now, the importance of that is batteries go dead if they sit. So to counteract that, basically you want to pick up a trickle charger if you haven't already. This is highly worth the money. It's I think when I bought this, it was about 50 bucks. So it should be around there. You can go higher. I'm sure you can go lower. I've had great luck with this battery tender brand. This is the Junior 800. I've got two of these. I've got basically any of my four-stroke bikes with a battery. They have a tender for this. So how that works is basically there will be, there's this connector. It's a quick connect, and you will just, on the other side of this, now I don't have one to show you that isn't already on a bike, but you'll have two leads, one for with a ring terminal on each, and that will go to your positive and negative on your battery. Really straightforward. Just connect the black to the negative, red to the positive, and then hide this quick connect somewhere where it's easy to access. And of course, there is a cap as well. That way it remains a watertight connection for you. And it just caps up, just like so. So you'll go ahead and install one of these on your bike and then just plug it in. Literally just plug it into the wall. It'll let you know when it's done, and then if the battery dips below, it'll kick back on and charge it. So you're not going to overcharge your battery, you're not going to undercharge your battery. It's just going to keep it at the right voltage, which is crucial for winter, especially if it's not a bike that you're going to be firing up, like say it's out in a cold barn and you don't want to trek out into the snow or whatever. This is a huge money saver too, because then you don't have to replace your battery quite as often, which is great. We love that. So I'm going to go ahead and install one of these on your bike and then plug it in, and then you're ready for the next step. So one of the last things to do before you put away your bike for the winter, you're going to want to go ahead and remove your valve stem cap. And then once that's off, you're just going to top it off with air. Make sure that your tires are full. And the reason why we do this is because air contracts and shrinks when it's cold. So the molecules just get closer together, and basically your tires go flat. If you've noticed why at the end of winter, or in winter perhaps, maybe on your car, bike, whatever, it doesn't matter, your tires will lose air, seemingly. That's really what's just happening, is the air molecules are shrinking, and therefore you're losing air, so to speak. So you just want to make sure that's topped up, and then once that's done, if your bike's going to be sitting a while, you want to just make sure to rotate your tires every once in a while, just to make sure that you don't develop any flat spots on the actual tire itself. Mainly a thing if you're not out there actively riding. Over winter, it probably isn't as big of a deal, but the more time that it sits and the weight of the bike is on that tire, the worse it's going to be. So in the case of this Enfield, it's got a center stand, so the back tire is completely off the ground, which is good. However, the front tire, probably want to rotate it every once in a while, just to make sure that it's going to stay nice and round. You don't want any flat spots, especially when you like to ride fast. So the last thing that you're going to want to do after you've added air to your tires, after you've made sure your battery's charged, after you made sure that there's good gas in your tank with the fuel stabilizer, the only other thing that you need to do, and this is primarily important when you've got a carbureted bike, um, and this is because fuel likes to sit in these carburetors. And if that fuel goes bad, it's going to gum up your jets. Um, and jets are just tiny holes, basically, that vaporize the fuel into the system so that your engine can run. Um, you don't want those jets clogged. That's going to mean tearing into the carburetor and the spring. It's going to impact your ride time, make you have to wait. So you don't necessarily want to do that. So how you counteract that is you want to go ahead and once you got the fuel, the good fuel with the stabilizer in here, you're going to want to start up and run the bike, ride the bike a little bit up and down the driveway a couple times perhaps. And then once you do that, you're going to shut the fuel off and then just let the bike idle. Let it idle until it dies. That way you're just ensuring that that fuel stabilizer that's in the fuel gets through all the way through your fuel system. And then once you get that all the way through your fuel system and your bike dies, theoretically there should be no gas left in your carb bowl. However, it's better to be safe than sorry, and you can actually go ahead and remove the drain bolt. There's a drain plug in the carb bowl, and you'll actually just go ahead and remove this and tilt the bike to the side, drain out any last couple drops that you can get, and then you're good to tuck the bike in for winter. So if you followed these steps, come spring, you should be good to go and be able to start up your bike with ease and enjoy the bike, enjoy the warmer weather as it comes. These are just tips that I've learned throughout the years, and they've been super helpful for me. Allows me to help keep all of these bikes running, which is huge. I do this once every fall, right before temperatures start to get to freezing, and I've got no problems come the next spring. I hope this helps you, and if so, that's great. Please let me know down in the comments how you winterize your bikes or winterize your motors, that sort of thing. All of these tips could actually be used on a lawnmower or anything of the above. But I will say that it does help having a heated garage too. The one final tip that I'll suggest is that if you do not have a heated garage and you have a bike with a battery in it, go ahead and remove that battery and bring that inside when it's on the charger. That way the cold doesn't impact the life of the battery as well, because the cold does play an impact on that sort of thing. So, but yeah, like I said, if you follow all of these steps, you should have no problem come spring. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to me. And commenting helps the channel out an absolute ton. You have no idea unless you are also making videos, then you have somewhat of an idea. So, but be sure to check out the other videos too. I should have more coming. Life's been crazy. So I apologize that I haven't made more videos this year, but I promise with winter coming, wrenching season's here, and there's plenty to do. So, all right, take it easy, everyone. See ya.